Oh gosh, guys, China just pulled the biggest global chess move, and your family budget could feel the shockwave. Yeah, you heard that right. When you're deciding between oat milk or whole milk at the grocery store, Xi Jinping is reshaping alliances, courting leaders, and rewriting the rules of power. And that could be more than just awkward dinner conversations. We're talking jobs, dollar signs, and your kid's future. So stick with me. It gets wild. Let's dive in. All right, guys, welcome back to the baseline. Thank you so much for joining me. All right, no slow start. Let's get right into it. China isn't hosting just a summit. It's calling the plays. So picture this, the world's biggest geopolitical poker table. Xi Jinping walks in, deals himself a royal flush, and invites Putin, Modi, and over 20 world leaders to sit down and nod along. Now, it's a power move, plain and simple. And whether you realize it or not, this reshuffling has a ripple effect that lands right here in your job security, your cost of living, and the way the global economy treats you. And here's the thing, this isn't complicated. China's pushing the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, the SCO, as the new club on the block. They've got 40% of the world's population, 40%. That's not just a statistic, that's leverage. But here's where it gets messy, right? Because India and Pakistan, both members, barely speak to each other without some translator or mediator. So the question is, can this so-called alliance actually function, or is it just a glossy brochure? So let's deconstruct this, because Xi Jinping takes the stage and throws out words like fairness, justice, and rejecting Cold War mentality. And it sounds good, right? But here's the reality. This isn't about moral high ground. It's about power. He's presenting himself as the great conveyor, the guy who can bring everyone together while the West fumbles. And guess what? That narrative, it's working. Leaders are showing up. They're shaking hands, they're nodding along, but it's not just about the speeches. There's chatter about creating an SCO development bank, a financial hub that could fund projects across member nations. Now, on paper, it sounds like a game changer, but in practice, it's vague, there's no timeline, and no clear funding. So just enough of a promise to keep everybody interested. So let's talk about India and watching Modi at this summit. It was like watching a pro tightrope walker, right? 1 minute he's smiling with Xi Jinping, the next he's sharing warm hugs and photo ops with Putin. And on Ukraine, he's keeping it diplomatic. This is not the time for war. Translation, we're not taking sides. But make no mistake, India isn't doing this out of charity. They're hedging. They want good relationships with China for trade, good relationships with Russia for energy and defense, and good relations with the United States for global markets. So they're balancing everything because in a world this unpredictable, you need every option at hand, right? And then this brings us to Putin, right? Because he's on stage blaming NATO for the war in Ukraine, talking about expansion and security concerns, as if we all forgot who crossed the border first, right? But it's the same script, but just louder. And after this summit, he's hanging around for a victory parade. Nothing says we're all about peace and stability, like a military flex, right? But here's the truth. Russia isn't isolated the way that Washington wants you to think they are. Putin knows that being in the room with Xi Jinping and Modi sends a message that no matter how many sanctions get slapped on, he still has a seat at the table. Whether that seat's at the head or somewhere near the exit door, that's still up for another debate. So let's zoom out just for a moment, take a breath, and look at China, India, and Russia, three of the biggest players on the planet, standing shoulder to shoulder, at least for the cameras. And it's impressive, but what's underneath is far less solid. There are no defense pacts, no clear economic roadmaps, just vague statements right now and carefully staged moments. It's the illusion of power. And illusions can be powerful, but they can't build roads or lower your energy bills. So what's really going on here then? China keeps conveying, and building influence and positioning itself as the alternative to the United States-led order. India keeps playing every side, waiting for the global winds to settle before it commits. And Russia keeps looking for relevance and for the markets to replace the West. And while they play this high-stakes game, regular people, you, me, us, workers across the globe, are the ones riding the wave of whatever comes next. And here's what's most dangerous about this. This summit creates a sense of inevitability, like the world is already locked into a new era where these alliances are unshakable. But they're not. The cracks are already there. And if or when they widen, the fallout will be just as global as the promises. So what's the takeaway here? This summit wasn't about agreements or breakthroughs. It was about optics, momentum, and signaling. China showed it can gather the room. India showed it can smile and balance without tripping. Russia showed it's not backing down, even if it's leaning harder on Beijing than it really wants to admit. And here's what should keep all of us watching. This isn't the end of the story. The next moves, whether it's the SCO Bank becoming a reality or a deeper fracture between these so-called partners, will reshape the game or not. And if you think this was bold, just wait until you see what all of these guys do next. Drop your comments in the sections below, guys. Let me know if you think I got this all right, if you think I got it all wrong. Your opinion matters to me. I read them all, I answer them all, and I look forward to your guys' comment. Thank you again so much for watching The Baseline, guys, and we'll catch you the next round. All right. Cheers, everybody.